The Veiled Truth. Mary Anne Atwood's Hermetic Journey. In the quiet solitude of a Yorkshire manor, where ancient oaks stood silent watch, lived Mary Anne South, born in 1817. She was no ordinary Victorian lady, content with the gentle pursuits of her era. Instead, her world was a labyrinth of forgotten knowledge, guided by the scholarly hand of her father, Thomas South. He was a man consumed by the ancient currents of wisdom, and Mary Anne, with a mind as sharp as any academic's and a mastery of Latin and Greek that few possessed, became his most dedicated student, a true scholar in her own right. As she delicately turned the brittle pages of illuminated manuscripts, ancient symbols seemed to shimmer and fade around her, as if the wisdom they held was coming to life. She deeply believed, unlike most, that true gold was not found in mines, but within the awakened human soul. She saw the universe not as a collection of disparate parts, but as a unified whole, awaiting the touch of a divine spark. By 1850, her profound understanding culminated in a manuscript unlike any other, a suggestive inquiry into the Hermetic mystery. She poured her life's work into its pages, revealing what she was certain was the true heart of alchemy, not the crude transmutation of physical lead to gold, but the divine transformation of the human spirit. The alchemist's furnace, she argued, was the human heart, and the base metals were the raw, unrefined aspects of the soul awaiting purification. As she wrote, a faint internal luminescence seemed to emanate from her, growing with each revelation. This was the ultimate magnum opus, the spiritual perfection, the finding of Sophia, divine wisdom deep within the mind. In her vision, a dark, dull lump of lead, representing the unrefined soul, began to glow internally, radiating light, gradually taking on a refined, golden, human-like form, the ultimate transformation. Published anonymously at her father's insistence, the book immediately sent ripples through the small, secretive world of esotericism. But these ripples turned into a terrifying torrent when her father, holding the completed work, fully grasped the depth of the secrets Mary Anne had so eloquently laid bare. The book itself seemed to pulse with a dangerous, unsettling light in his hands. He saw not just intellectual brilliance, but a perilous exposure of truths that were meant to remain veiled. In a fit of panic and protective zeal, perhaps even fear of retribution from those who guarded such knowledge, he embarked on a desperate mission to buy back and burn nearly every single copy. A roaring fire consumed them, their pages curling and blackening, flames leaping and crackling, casting dancing, ominous shadows. Mary Anne watched from a doorway, a profound sadness in her eyes, yet a quiet, almost defiant understanding. Like a ghost, the book vanished almost as quickly as it appeared, leaving behind only whispers and legends. This traumatic act, coupled with her subsequent marriage to Reverend Alban Thomas Atwood and a retreat into a secluded life, ensured that A Suggestive Inquiry remained her sole published work during her lifetime. Yet, the fire couldn't consume the ideas. A single, surviving copy was hidden away, still faintly glowing, the dangerous knowledge within. The secrets Mary Anne unveiled were meticulously detailed across 4 parts, each building upon the last to reveal a truth so profound it was deemed too dangerous for widespread consumption. As each part of the book's contents was discussed, an ethereal visual representation seemed to emerge from that glowing, surviving copy, demonstrating its core idea. Part I. An exoteric view of the progress and theory of alchemy. Here, Atwood laid the groundwork, tracing a sweeping historical panorama from ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, morphing into Greek philosophical texts, then flowing into Arabic manuscripts and medieval European alchemical diagrams. She presented the common, outward understanding of alchemy, focusing on bubbling retorts, crude metals, and the pursuit of a literal philosopher's stone to create physical gold or elixirs of life. The danger here wasn't in the history itself, but in the potential for the uninitiated to misunderstand it, to believe that true power lay in external substances rather than internal transformation. This misinterpretation could corrupt the deeper spiritual path, focusing seekers on mundane gain rather than divine evolution. This part subtly disarmed the materialist's view, preparing the reader for a profound reorientation. Part 2. A more esoteric consideration of the Hermetic art and its mysteries. This is where the veil truly began to lift. Atwood delved into the true mystery, asserting that the physical operations of alchemy were entirely symbolic. Abstract, symbolic patterns dominated the unseen narrative, with geometric designs shifting and intertwining to form complex mandalas pulsing with light. Human silhouettes appeared, their forms containing swirling energies and nascent light, transforming into veiled figures engaging in symbolic, almost ritualistic acts, suggesting ancient mystery cults and their hidden initiation processes. The metals were stages of the soul's development, the furnaces were intense spiritual disciplines, and the transmutation was a process of inner purification and enlightenment. The danger in this part lay in revealing concepts that, without proper guidance and a true ethical foundation, could be dangerously misinterpreted as literal occult practices. This could invite spiritual dabbling, leading to delusion, spiritual corruption, or even empowering those who sought to manipulate spiritual forces for selfish rather than altruistic ends. Part 3. Concerning the laws and vital conditions of the Hermetic experiment. Here, Atwood explored the profound, universal principles governing this spiritual alchemy. Visuals of cosmic balance and intricate, interconnected systems emerged. Celestial bodies moving in perfect, harmonious orbits, and light flowing through interconnected channels representing the precise flow of universal principles. Scales balancing perfectly illustrated the equilibrium and internal balance essential for spiritual work. She discussed the absolute necessity of purity, dedication, and an understanding of universal laws, both natural and divine. She implied that the true alchemist must align their entire being with these cosmic principles to achieve success. The danger was in outlining the precise conditions for such a powerful spiritual endeavor. If these detailed conditions were understood by those lacking true ethical commitment, they could attempt to harness these laws for ego-driven pursuits, potentially leading to profound spiritual imbalance, harm to themselves, or even a twisted form of power that could disrupt the natural order. It was a blueprint for spiritual mastery, and like any blueprint, in the wrong hands, it could be misused. Part 4. The Hermetic Practice. In the final part, Atwood provided, as much as possible without breaking her own sense of propriety, hints at the practical application of this spiritual journey. A serene, inner contemplation guided the unseen narrative, with a solitary figure, symbolic of the seeker, in deep meditation, their form radiating light from within. Simple, yet profound, visuals of a calm, flowing river symbolized purified consciousness, and a single seed blossoming into a magnificent, radiant tree represented inner growth and perfection. This wasn't a crude how-to guide, but rather a subtle roadmap for the inner work, contemplation, meditation, and a relentless refining of one's character and understanding. The practice was the lived experience of transforming oneself, becoming a vessel for higher wisdom. The danger here was subtle but profound. Unveiling the pathway to true spiritual power and enlightenment could, if misunderstood or abused, lead individuals to believe they possess divine authority, or could bypass the ethical demands of true spiritual growth. It could be misconstrued as a path to immediate enlightenment without the necessary trials and humility, leading to arrogance or profound spiritual error. The importance of such knowledge, as Anne Atwood understood it, was profound. It wasn't about fleeting power or material gain, but about salvation and ultimate spiritual liberation. She believed that understanding the Hermetic mystery was the key to unlocking humanity's divine potential, to transcending the limitations of the physical world and achieving a state of spiritual perfection. Her book wasn't just a historical survey, it was a map to the soul's awakening. Many years after her quiet passing in 1910, the Suggestive Inquiry was finally reissued in 1918. That single, surviving copy seemed to strengthen its internal glow, expanding outwards to illuminate the room, then the world beyond, transforming into a vibrant, ethereal human figure radiating peace and wisdom. It became a cornerstone of modern esotericism, influencing thinkers and practitioners who understood that Mary Anne Atwood had, against all odds, revealed the sacred flame at the heart of the Hermetic tradition, a flame that continues to illuminate the path for those brave enough to seek the true gold within themselves.